the Word. Inspiration 1050 AM and 103.1 FM, WGRI, Cincinnati.
The following program is brought to you by Alicia Reece and WGRI.
I stand here today as a product of Dr. King's civil rights movement in the trenches of the battleground state of Ohio, city of Cincinnati, and the daughter of civil rights activist Dr. Stephen Reece Sr. and the late Barbara Howard Reece, who marched for me 50 years ago.
A champion for voting rights.
We're going to bring you people that know about business. We're going to bring you people that know about what's going on in the tech. Put some soul into this whole tech thing that's going on.
She's a fighter for the people.
Welcome, Reverend Al Sharpton, to the show.
Congratulations on your show.
She's off the...
We're bringing Joe Madison, known as the Black Eagle.
Congratulations on having the show. Nothing is more important than the local programs that engage our communities.
She's a proud HBCU grad. It's time for Alicia Reece's Soul Food, Food for the Soul, on Cincinnati's 24-hour urban gospel connection, Inspiration 1050 AM and 103.1 FM, WGRI.
It started with just rocks. So we said, give us the rocks. And the rocks is now going to be an international tourism attraction.
For somebody to put some time into it like that, you got to be real. That's a big sacrifice to step out by yourself.
I dedicated 5 years in getting this to go from vision to reality. We needed to have public and private partnership.
All I saw was a bunch of rocks. I'm like, how you gonna put a Walk of Fame right here?
20 years we've been trying to figure out what to do with that particular lot.
What in the world? Like, it's just rocks, Commissioner Reece. So I'm like, what, they building or what? She doing what? What is this? What is she doing? Just listening to Alicia tell me how it's gonna be, I'm like, we can never make this happen.
Commissioner Alicia Reece had her ups and downs during this entire process. She even had to have knee surgery.
God prepared me for this journey, and I didn't even know it a long time ago.
Commissioner Reece told me, go to Kinko's and print off a flyer. And I mean, this is the morning of.
People from all over the world will come here and understand the stories behind our legends and our icons. We created the culture. It came from right here.
All right. It's Alicia Reece Soul Food, and I'm back in the studio. Y'all. We have been on the road. We've been to Las Vegas with our show live from a school out in Las Vegas. We had the Grambling State University president on, Miss Grambling, the current Miss Grambling State University on. We had one of the county commissioners, former county commissioners in Las Vegas, who happened to be a Grambling State University graduate. And he had been a county commissioner for 20 years. You're talking about some power. And so for me to come and be there as the county commissioner for Hamilton County, but former Miss Grambling State University, and everybody there, we won the game, by the way. Grambling won the game. It was a nail biter. We weren't picked to win. They said Jackson State was going to kill us. We won in a nail biter. And we were in the new Allegiant football stadium, and the Raiders were one of the major hosts and sponsors for this inaugural HBCU Classic. Just amazing. And I had an amazing time. But I brought you guys along, Alicia Reece Soul Food, and you got a chance to hear from some of the people right there on the ground in Las Vegas, Nevada. Then we went last week. We had our show, and it was then it was the emergency press conference that I had with Monday will be. Hold on one second. That's not it. We're okay. We had our pastors that were there and we had a press conference, and it was amazing. I want to thank Dr. Bishop Brian Walker, who hosted us at the pantry there at Bethel Baptist Church. We had everyone there. We had pastors, of course, Pastor Donald Jones, the dean, and Timothy Lane, and we had pastors from all over the county. We had community council president there and head of SOAC, Sandra. I want to thank her. And we had the Prince Hall representation of the Prince Hall Masons and Shriners. We had the NAACP, and we were talking about the SNAP benefits, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. But we'll talk about launching of a petition drive that's online. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So I want everybody to get to those who are watching us. I want y'all to share this. I got a lot of information to give out. Those who are on the radio, call everyone to the radio. 103.1 FM, 1050 AM. Get to the radio, okay? All right. We got a lot of information. We had an election. On Tuesday, this past Tuesday. Now, turnout was down. We got to get the turnout up. We're in a fight. But there was a sweep across the country, including Cincinnati. There was a Democratic sweep. And some people said, why was this Democratic sweep? I think because people were fed up with what's going on in Washington with the government shutdown, with the SNAP situation. People are tired, and they want to make sure they don't make a mistake and vote in the Republicans who are led by Donald Trump. They were concerned. And so you saw a sweep. You saw a sweep in New York. You saw Proposition 50 in California, the redistricting, that one on the ballot, and Governor Newsom out there. You saw here, you saw the city council and the mayor in Cincinnati, but you also saw throughout the county. I mean, I'm talking Springfield Township. We picked up seats at Springfield Township. We picked up Anderson Township. School board. We did a sweep. We had school board here, Dr. Kareem Moffitt and others. We had a complete sweep across the country. Detroit elected its first Black female mayor. I mean, it was a sweep. And the one thing about New York, I mean, that was a big mayor's race, because you're taking on Cuomo, who was once the governor and the power, and nobody could beat a Cuomo. And then you had the mayor that they have now. He ran a campaign that brought out 1 million. He got 1 million votes. He brought people out. Now that's powerful. That's powerful. And so you see this sweeping going on. And the question is, will it continue in the midterm election? Now, what's the next election coming up? Next election will determine, I think, what will happen in Washington. You've got your congressional races, the Congress. There'll be a dog fight to try to take the Congress if the Democrats can. There's a Senate fight, United States Senate. And we've got Sherrod Brown coming back running against Husted. He's coming back. So there'll be a lot of focus in Ohio about that. We've got a governor's race. And right now there's two people in that race, I believe. Amy Acton, who was over the health department under DeWine, is now running for governor on the Democratic side, and on the Republican side, but it's still early. On the other side, you got the guy, what's his name, Ramaswamy or something. He ran for president. It's a dog fight in Ohio. So don't get happy with just the local sweeps. You've got to get out, register. We got to get more people out to vote. The totals were down. We got to get serious. We can't have a whole bunch of people in a race, because that's another trick they do. Put a lot of people in the race so you can cut up the vote. Everybody jump up out the bed. I'm going to run. This stuff is not, it's a skill set to this. Just because you're popular on social media does not translate into being elected. I have a class, and I probably need to get it back going, that I had taught one time online, and it talks about, a part of the class I talked about marketing, consumer marketing versus call to action marketing. When you're in politics, it's a call to action. You can't just hit the like button and that's it. It's like a two-step authenticator. You can hit the like, but then you got to get up, you got to put some clothes on, and you got to go out somewhere to vote, a polling location, early vote center, or you've got to fill out the paperwork, and you still got to put it in an envelope. You still got to get a stamp, and you still got to put it in a mail or in a drop box. And then when it comes back, you got to fill it out and do the same thing by a certain time. Consumer marketing is pretty much, I'm here, I make a like, and that's the end of it. When I hit the like, I can purchase something. I don't have to go to the mall to actually get the product. I could hit a button and Kroger's can bring me the groceries. I don't have to get up and go to Kroger's. So some people get confused with, man, I was killing them on social media. Social media is an amplifier. It is not a definer. It requires you to do something else. So a lot of people say, man, on social media, man, they was killing them. They was saying this, but it requires a lot more with voting. Now I got to look and see, do you have the proper credentials to vote? Now I got to look and see, have you registered to vote? Now I got to see, did you go to the right polling location or the early vote before early vote was over to vote? Now we got to get you got to get your ballot. Did you get a ballot? Did you fill it out right? Did you vote for the right people? Then it goes into a machine and then it says, thank you for your vote. There's a difference between call to action marketing and consumer marketing. Two different things. So everybody, and I appreciate it because we got a lot of people, I got a podcast, I got a podcast and this and that. But then you got to look at the numbers. And the one thing about my show, I'm on radio as well. I'm on 3 or 4 platforms at the same time right now. So you might not see it over here on Facebook, might not see it on this page on Facebook, but man, somebody they listening to it in their cars. You in your car, you might not see the Facebook, but now they got the Facebook. So it's very, very, very important to understand that this is serious. It's not, God say, man, they tearing them up on X. But did they put an X on the ballot? So do not get, what was my motto? Do not get confused and you will not lose. So there's some people woke up, how did this happen? I was so popular. And then the people you were popular with, were they eligible to vote for you? The people that you were popular, were they in your district? Were they in your city? Were they in your township? Were they registered? Was their license current when they went up with their credentials to vote? Did they have transportation to vote? We've even watered down souls to the polls. We got polls and not enough souls. It's more than people see me, oh man, I can do what she do, man. I'll set up some music and I'll come and get some, chicken and I can do what Alicia Reece does. No, I'm a technician. I'm called to action. It's not that easy. Looking at numbers at all times. Now, just to give you some context, at the Board of Hamilton County Board of Elections, I do this women's march. And the reason I do it is back when Hillary was running, I told Hillary Clinton, let's do a women's march all over the country to the polls. Have men bring their daughters, have the signs. I'm marching for my daughter. Women coming out, all the women's issues, all the men issues, families, and let's march to the polls. She thought it was a great idea, but they sent it to the consultants that were not here. They said, well, who does she think she is? She just, she just from Cincinnati. Hillary loses, and right after we have a massive women's march all over, but we ain't marching nowhere except to the microphones because the people are in for 4 years. Can't do nothing. We had all these women marches marching to talk to each other, marching to get everybody excited. But when we had a chance to march to actually take action and be empowered, it was rejected. So I said, forget it. I'm going to do it myself. And so I went on and I've been successful. But on this Saturday, which is a non-presidential year, this is my 9th year I did it. Next year will be my 10th year. I do it when I'm not even on the ballot. Most elected officials, you don't see them when they ain't on the ballot. It's real important when they're on the ballot to vote. But when they ain't on the ballot, it's not that important. They got something else to do. They too busy. So you got to be true to this. And I'm true to it. So I do this Women's March. This year, low turnout, obviously, overall in the election. But 2,100 people voted that day. The highest number. Sunday, 1,400 people voted. So just to give you some context about why we definitely have to have what you call to action. The last thing, this won't make me popular with some of the nonprofits, and I support nonprofits. I vote for them and all these different things. But when you're in the political thing, we got to be partisan. We can't be nonpartisan. And in the last presidential election, all the money for the Black community vote, to get the Black vote out, went nonpartisan. Every time you say, well, I can't tell them not to go with Trump, or I can't tell them don't do this, or go for Kamala, or go for whoever, because we nonpartisan. We got to get out of the nonpartisan. We're nonpartisan, but then they create these entities that are candidate specific. They have 527s, I believe, and some others that allow them to say a candidate's name if that candidate is who they're supporting. We get into things where we cannot say a candidate's name. We might have a candidate that's really helping us, and I'm not going to say if it's Democrat or Republican. Most of the time it is. They really doing it. You really say, man, Alicia Reece, you really doing it, girl. You helping us. You the 513 relief bus and $100 million in rental assistance, and you done went down there and you ain't been down there but 5 years, and we got a Black Music Walk of Fame, and wait a minute, they was only doing $1,900 with minority businesses until you got down there, girl. You shaking it up. You got an office of small business. We love what you doing. You getting ready to do stuff with SNAP. You got all this going on. We support you. We love you. But I can't say Alicia Reece. I can't be in a picture with Alicia Reece because we nonpartisan. And then all the money dealing with elections is going to our side that's nonpartisan. And then the opposition, all their money is going to my opponent, their candidates. They can say their name. You know how we have the campaign? Say their name. And we can't say the name because we done got over here and we got bouncy houses and food and music and face paintings and all that. But we can't tell you who you need to really vote for. That is imbalanced. It did not work. So we got to have an entity within the nonpartisan that can be partisan, can say a candidate's name, can stand up when a candidate stands up for us. But as soon as they get ready for this senator's race and all that, well, I can't say Shed Brown. I can't say his name, even though he did My Brother's Keepers and he did we can't say his name. We got to hide. And then you look up, well, what do you do? Oh, I work for a nonpartisan and they done paid me to help with the campaigns to get the vote out. You got to get the vote out, but you got to tell people who to vote for. Because they don't know. Go in there and vote for the wrong person. So it's a two-step authenticator. And I'm just telling you, that's one of the things I saw happen in the black community. Everything in the black community was a non-partisan group getting all the get out to vote money. And all on the other side, it was partisan groups that allowed themselves to be partisan, that allowed them to say the candidates' names. They don't call themselves partisan, but they can say the candidates' names. And they got the money, and we're going up against them. And we got all the stuff. We got the bullhorns, we got the tents, we got the DJs, we got the food, we got some flyers, we got all that. But except we don't tell the people we got the stand who've been standing with us. And that, my friends, is the problem. Number two, getting on social media, going back and forth. Ain't no sense you arguing now. You had a chance to vote. Can't argue after the vote is over. You were suited up and they put you in the game and you did what you had to do. We can't march after it's over. That's why I didn't like that. We had a chance to march in there and stand up at that time. And we decided to march with the destination being the microphone. Now, I can understand if something happens after the election, but I'm talking about we knew. We knew. We should have been just as upset marching to the vote. But this election, there was a sweep all across this country. I think it sent a message. It was a wake-up call. Now that they have awakened, we got to have a stick-to-itness. Now the dogfight begins. It's what they say, it's on. The midterm elections matter because we got to get the Congress. We got to get over the U.S. Senate. That's all we can get. We can't get the head, the presidency. That's not there yet. We can send a loud message. So you get registered, get prepared. Let's do less talking and more marching to the polls. More marching to the polls. But somebody said, oh, my vote don't matter. Well, you talking, if the vote don't matter, you talking show enough don't matter. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You said the vote don't mean nothing. Well, you getting on the microphone definitely ain't going to mean nothing. If the vote don't mean nothing, Facebook really don't mean nothing as it relates to this. If the vote doesn't matter, X really don't mean nothing as it relates to this. If the votes don't matter, Instagram really don't mean nothing as it relates to this. So I'm encouraging everybody to get ready. While we're celebrating, they're on round 2, getting ready. They're in the gym, they're working out, and they're ready, getting ready for the next fight. So wanted to tell you that the next election are the people that deal with SNAP. The next election are the people that deal with government shutdown. The next election are the people that deal with the federal government. The next election are the people at the state house that deal with everything that matters to your house. The next election are the state representatives and the state senators. This is it. This last election was the warm-up. Now we're getting ready for round 2. I'm not on that ballot either, but we in the fight. We're in the fight. So wanted to tell y'all that about the election. Congratulations to everybody that won the election, that got involved. But please remember, one of the tricks, they tried it on me. I get a thing, they're going to bring 3 candidates. Every time I look up, they got this person, they got that person, trying to take away some votes. That also is a strategy. Now build your head up. Oh, man, you're articulate. You should run for office. That ain't the only prerequisite to be articulate. Oh, wow, you are a nice young lady and nice young man. You know you should run for office. They never say, you know you should be the CEO of a major corporation. You notice they never say you should be the chairman of the board for a major corporation. They want to send everybody to just one street. We got to be on multiple streets. We need some CEOs. We need some board chairmen. We need some people who know how to develop. We need some people who know how to be chief of staffs. We need some people that know how to run the West Wing. We need some people who know over in the criminal justice and safety department. But as soon as they see you, and you can put two sentences together, they say, "You're so articulate. You know, you should run for office." And then they get 50 people running for office while they get to be the chairman of the boards. They get to be the people that they get to run. I went to the Raiders as a black woman, president of the NFL Raiders. They never say, you know, you should be, I could see you one day being the president of a Major League Baseball team or an NFL team, or I could see you being the next Roger Goodell over commissioner of the NFL. They just got us playing fantasy football. As soon as you put two sentences in, the and, oh my God, you'll be excellent. You should run for office. They need you down there. No, we need people down everywhere. We need them everywhere. And that is why I want to say that to you and to our young people. That's the first thing they say. They don't say, you know, you could be the next Supreme Court justice. No, they want you, you know, you'll be really good running down at your local city council race, or you'd be good to run at this race or that race. And you get, oh man, your head blow up. They want me. They want me. They want me. We need people everywhere. We need pastors. We need everybody. We need doctors. I don't see anybody say, man, we need some doctors because the doctors are retiring. You would be the great next doctor. Your generation could be the next doctor group. They never say that. I mean, as soon as they see you, look nice, you ain't been in no trouble, and you can put two sentences together, you know, you're so articulate. I really could see you doing that. The other thing is everything you do, they put you in nonprofits. I'm not against nonprofits, but that's the key. Nonprofit. Don't make what? No profit. They never want you on the for-profit side. Never. So we got to have a balance, people. Most nonprofits, they have a corporation that's for-profit. So if you have a bank, they got the Fifth Third Bank, but then they got the Fifth Third Foundation. They got Kroger, the bank, and then, Kroger, the grocery store, and then Kroger, the foundation. Everything we do, we trying to get a nonprofit started. Those are things we got to keep our eyes on, people. So anyway, God just gave me that. That wasn't on my program. God gave me that. I had to throw that hot sauce to y'all because we got to wake up. We got to wake up. And then every major nonprofit is developing and building something. Talbert House is not just offering services. They now have they got into development. They built housing. The Children's Theater, they not just with the Muppet Show and the Wiz. They now have their own building, the Emory. They weren't happy just going to the Taft and using it. They have their own. Meals on Wheels, I just saw. They bought the old Ford facility, Ford car facility on Ridge. And now they putting $1 million or so in it. They will now have a headquarters to what? Own their building. That's where they're going. That's what the nonprofits that I see are doing. And then when you look at it, the way they set it up, Easter Seals, that's over there in Walnut Hills. They're not just offering services. They now are building some veteran housing. So we got to wake up and where things are moving. With that, let me go to sports real quick, and then we're going to get to Snap. Everybody tell everybody get to the radio. We're going to get to this Snap. We're going to get to this Snap. We're going to get to this Snap. Everything that I know, I'm going to let you know and where to go in just a minute. So tell everybody to get to the radio. Everybody share. Y'all share bad news. Share some good news. Share the show. Now, let's get to sports. Number one, don't bring up my nephew yet. I got to give it out to the Dodgers. I'm sorry. Okay, shout out to the Reds. I think we got manager of the year and something else of the year. That's nice. I appreciate it. I love my Reds. Y'all know I love my Reds. I got my outfit. I'm ready to rock. But the Dodgers and the Blue Jays, man, they playing a different type of baseball right now. It's on a whole nother level. Make everybody else look like Little League compared to Dodgers. Of course, they paying a lot of money too. And the Blue Jays, and it seems like every time people leave us, they go to the World Series. Dusty Baker, now the guy from the Blue Jays. I don't know what's going on, but I stayed up. I watched it. That one night they went 18 innings. I don't even watch baseball on television. I like to go to the game, but I'm up there, man. I can't go to sleep. The next day I paid for it. I mean, these cats are what they call it, balling. They are balling. The Dodgers won. Congratulations. Magic Johnson, of course, you know Magic. He done got some more rings. He's happy. He's ownership. But listen to this. Magic, look at the diversity of ownership. Magic Johnson is an owner. You see what I'm saying? He's an owner. And anyway, the Dodgers ended up winning. Congratulations. But I just want to say congratulations to the World Series because they played some ball. And then when they won, this is what I'm talking about. They brought out Ice Cube with the car, you know what I'm saying, from Compton car. They coming out to Kendrick Lamar. I mean, all this flavor. And the Dodgers won, but it was a game. I won't say just one game. It was a series. This is what you call World Series. And congratulations. Staying on sports now, my nephew, Jalen Reece. I know y'all ask a lot about him, how he's doing. Jalen's a freshman. He was highly recruited. He chose LSU, and they had their first home opener. And here's what happened.
Shooting over Rainbow. He's fouled. He scores off the window. That's just determination. He jumped right into that foul. Got the contact and knew he was going to force his way through it. Much bigger line. Look at the hesitation dribble. He gets the contact and actually gets an elbow to his face. Yep. When it comes from him having to come on the floor, if he let's say foul trouble, he's playing short of point. Groovy is a freshman from Orlando.
All right. So shout out to ESPN, and those are just some of the highlights. I'm proud of him as a freshman. Jalen Reece is the name, and we were all watching on ESPN, and of course my brother and sister-in-law were there, and it was interesting. My brother has been his coach from all the way through, and then to sit in the audience and watch him, I know it was a big proud moment. But all the AAU, he came from a AAU team called the Florida Rebels. The Florida Rebels is my brother's AAU team, and certainly with my father and everything. But Florida Rebels are one of the top AAU teams there on the highest circuit EYBL competition. So a lot of the players, I think my brother had at least 20 players that he's coached that had their freshman debuts at major schools across the country, and they all did very well. But a special shout out to my nephew, Jalen Reece. Very proud of him, and look forward. He's just going to get better and stronger. And it's just, I was amazed. I mean, he went to work, and that's why I had to put that music and go to work, right? He went to work. I'm super duper proud of him, and I can't wait to see the game in person. Plan on making some of those games. But you guys also got a chance to hear from Jalen Reece, I think this time last year. And no, right before he graduated. You got to hear from him this year. You can go back to Alicia Reece Soul Food, and you can hear him talk directly. And now you get to see him play. So y'all check out LSU Tigers in Louisiana, Jalen Reece. And give him, he's number 2. And the reason they call Groovy, that's his nickname, Groovy. So hashtag Groovy, and that's why they said Groovy from Orlando. So that's been his nickname. So that's my sports report. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to What's going on? What is going on? One, there's redistricting that happened, and Democrats and Republicans agreed to it, but it puts Greg Landsman, our congressman down here in the 1st Congressional District, who's a Democrat, puts him in a very, very, very tough race over not just next year, but over the next 10 years. That seat, whether it's Greg Landsman or any other Democrat, is going to be super duper difficult. And so once again, I think that Southwest Ohio always gets screwed. When you go up to the state, they always give everything away and we get the leftovers. And so this, you have some Democrats say, oh, well, we can win and he can do it. It's going to cost a lot of money. It's going to be very tough to win. And when I say tough to win, and particularly if you're African American, it's almost forget about it. But it's going to be a tough race. But so that race will be coming up next year. It starts right now today. So you'll hear more. We'll try to get the congressman on our show. Now in Washington, there has been a government shutdown, the longest, I think, in history, or second longest in history. Government workers have been furloughed. Some have had to work without any pay. I hear they're going to try to make some changes. They're trying to have a meeting today, the Senate and others, because of the sweep. They get nervous. And what has been the issue is that obviously you want to have the government open, but you also don't want to make where the health prices are way up, where you can't go get a checkup, can't go to the hospital, can't get your medicine. And so that's been the fight. It's an economic fight between the haves, which is very small, the billionaires, gazillionaires, they're getting richer and richer, and the have-nots. And we know they're getting richer because they're paying for ballrooms. T-Mobile is one of them. Amazon is another. They came up with money like it ain't nothing, like it was water, for a $300 million ballroom, while we suffer trying to get $240 million just in Hamilton County alone for SNAP benefits. Now, there's been court cases and judges, and they're saying they have to do it, and then Trump people are fighting back. We don't have to do it. But while that's going on, you got bills, you need something to eat, and so therefore there are things that need to be done to keep things moving. So we're very happy that we were able to get some money from the state. They could have gave a lot more to the governor, but he gave $25 million, $7 million to the Free Store Food Bank. We as a county, we gave $220,000 to the Free Store Food Bank. But then after that press conference, I think it's very important that they hear from you. So we have a petition. We're going to put it up real quick, the petition, and we encourage you to sign it. Don't say, oh, it's over now. It's never over. Sign this petition online. All you got to do is hit a button, and we'll put it, we're going to send it to Washington so they can hear from you that we're not happy, and it's time to get to work. And it's time to have people able to eat. So yes, it's Thanksgiving. We want to get past Thanksgiving, but we got to eat every day. Monday through Sunday, we have to eat. And so we have I have a 513 relief bus. That's why we wanted this bus. And I want to set this up properly. This is not something that is new. Before I got elected, I was running in 2019. The coronavirus is what they called it, hit. They said we had 2 hours to feed everybody in the state of Ohio because the governor's going to shut it down. And it was 24 hours before my primary election. They said, don't go out there. I said, man, I got to go out there. I went out there. Wasn't that many people helping with Meals on Wheels because they told people don't go out there. Went out there with my small team, Chase and a guy named Walterman. We got in his car. We went out. We went all over this county. We only had 2 hours. I'm talking about urban and suburban, giving out food. I went to a place and a Caucasian man, he cried. He said, will I see a human again and will I have food again? Please don't leave me. I said, I got to get it to you, this food, but I got to go. Sorry, I got to get to these other people. Went to another one. Somebody had Confederate flags everywhere. I said, oh, no, he probably ain't going to take none of my food, none of the food we give him. He came, asked me to help put the food in his shelves. and said thank you. I went to another one, African American gentleman. I said, Tag, I hope he's still alive. And he finally said, I'm here. And it was a small apartment. He came, he had the oxygen tanks, he had all kind of stuff on him. He said he ain't seen the nurse, but thank you for the food. He could barely breathe. I went to Evanston and Mr. Stallworth, shout out to him. Well, I was in Evanston and we was giving out food. He said, man, we want to have a food pantry. I said, man, I try to see what we can support it, but let's get the food out. When I ran, they took pictures of me, my opponent. He took pictures of me, my Republican opponent, of me giving out food. You had to have gloves on at that time. They said, wear the glove, don't wear the mask. I remember them days. He put a thing with glass all over my face. Don't vote for her. She's giving out food. She's a thief for giving out food. And he had flyers everywhere, mailers, flyers. He said, that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is the Bengals. Food don't mean nothing. I said, the most important thing is the people. He was talking about the Bengal deal, which wasn't even coming up with him. And he put out a bad thing about me giving out this food. Because I was going around the county, villages and townships and cities, even outside of Cincinnati, I said, man, when I get there, we gotta come up with something where we can reach these people. And that's why I came up with the 513 relief bus. Because COVID didn't stop. Now we're back. SNAP benefits. It's not new. This is true of who I am. And thank God we have a bus that can transform and ready to go. And so in addition to the things I talked about, we now are going to launch the 513 Relief Bus Mobile Pantry. We're going to partner with churches that have the pantries. And we don't have limitless money, but we have some money through we're going to put toward the free store food bank, which we did, where these churches who are already buying from there can add, and we will do at least 100 people per stop. We're going to 9 stops. And so I want y'all to hear what I said at the meeting this week and launching it. We're launching it Monday. Our first stop will be Lincoln Heights Missionary Baptist Church, and we will be partnering with pastor there at Lincoln Heights Missionary Baptist Church. In addition to us, what they were already going to do, they're giving out gift cards while they last. They're giving out for people, if you show your EBT card, they're also giving out funding to the gift cards to government workers. That's at that stop. Okay? So those are the things that we're doing. And we will have we're going to have food distribution, on-site medical health, like we always do, and JFS benefits. But we're kicking off at Lincoln Heights Missionary Baptist Church on Monday at 10 a.m. We're kicking off Monday at 10 a.m. We'll be in the streets. We're going back to the streets. That's where I started, helping people. We're back to the streets. And listen up what I had to say at the meeting. Partnering with Lincoln Heights Missionary Baptist Church Pantry will be pulling up. They will be also doing additional. They're going to do $300 gift cards for federal workers that show their IDs while it lasts. They're going to also give $150 gift cards as well. We're going to be there in our partnership to get food for about 100 people. And we're not talking about just these canned goods either. So we're excited about that to help. Veterans Day, we're not going to be out. Wednesday, the 12th, we'll be back out. We'll be at Whitewater Crossing, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. With the church there and partnering with their pantry. And we'll have food for 100 people. Then 4 to 7, we'll be at Agape Ministries. So people that are getting off work, we'll have help there. The 13th, we'll be at ETAC Lighthouse Ministries, partnering with the Community Council in Evanston, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We'll have food there. Then we'll be Monday the 17th at the Word of Deliverance Ministries in Forest Park at 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. with food that we're doing there. We'll be then on Tuesday the 18th at the Winton Hills Recreation, Food for the Soul from 2 to 6 p.m. with food there. Then we'll be Wednesday at New Hope Baptist Church partnering with Pastor Jones at 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then we're back at Agape Love Ministries from 4 to 7 that evening. And then on Thursday, the 20th, we're at Grace AME Church, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at their pantry with the 513 Relief Bus. And then Friday, we'll be at Bethel Baptist Church, Bishop Dr. Brian Walker, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And so we're out trying to get the food out, and this will allow us, we'll be partnering with the Free Store Food Bank. Okay, like I said, tell me, this is everything to me is a walking testimony. Just Friday, we had put together a press conference with pastors and organizations that stood up and said, hey, this is wrong. And we were at pantries. And then I told you in 2019, God started with me with giving us food out. I didn't know. I was just doing it. I remember being with Pastor Quentin Monroe. He was working on my campaign, and he had a box truck, and we were out at his church and in the cold, and we was putting things together in bags and then distributing them to churches so that they can give them out. And we had voter empowerment days at these churches because you could ride through and get food and products. And I never knew we'd be at this point. And so now we went from Governor, you need to do an executive order on Tuesday of last week. On Thursday, he announced that he was signing an executive order. Then we went Friday, we said, hey, we got to do a petition. Let's get it out. And we were standing in the pantry of Dr. Brian Walker in Walnut Hills at Bethel Baptist, where we have a food desert already. And we said we got to stand up, and those churches said we're going to stand up, we're going to do what we can. But the need is so great because we're talking a $19 million gap. And so we're going to, then we went from Friday to now I'm back Friday, 7 days later, and we're announcing that we hitting the streets on Monday. We're going to be at Lincoln Heights Missionary Baptist Church on Monday, 10 a.m. is what time we'll be there, 10 to 12 or 10 to whenever we out of it, 10 to 12. We get out before 12. Obviously, we have given out what we have, but we're there 10 to 12. And Pastor Julian Cook, talk with him as people are ready to go, and we're partnering, and they're going to do already. They're giving out gift cards from the church. They're giving out gift cards to help the furloughed workers from the church. We're adding with them food in addition to food they got. So we're partnering. And it's amazing, when the bus first came, they kept saying, Reece, where you going to pull the bus up at? Nobody's going to let us pull up the bus. And it was the churches throughout this county that allowed us to pull our buses up. Corinthian allowed us to pull our bus up. Bethel allowed us to pull our bus up. New Hope allowed us to pull our bus up. We pulled our bus up everywhere. I'm talking about when we first started, when nobody, you can believe it could happen. We out in Cleves and the church done pulled up. And then when I went to these churches, they showed me their pantry. And I said, wow, not knowing that this type of day will come. And so we're partnering with them. We'll be at Lincoln Heights Missionary Baptist Church on Monday, 10 a.m. 513 Relief Bus is kicking off our mobile pantry in response to the SNAP benefits. Well, they're figuring it out in Washington. They're going back and forth like a yo-yo. We will be there to help people. Then Wednesday, we at Whitewater Crossings. We way out, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Then we come back inside the city. We at Agape Ministries in Roselawn, 4 to 7. So if you say, well, I got to wait till I get off work. We there 4 to 7 at Agape. Then on Friday of next week, we're at ETAC Lighthouse Ministries. That's going back to Stallworth and the Community Council of Evanston that started the food pantry. Remember they said, we'd like to have a food pantry. I was right there with them. We need some help with the food pantry. Help is on the way. ETAC Lighthouse Ministries, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. You all could go to my page, Alicia Reece Soulful. We'll have these out there. Then on next Monday, the 16th, we're at the Word of Deliverance, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in Forest Park. 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Forest Park. I remember when I was running the first time, all I had, got with Pastor Quinn Monroe. We had that box truck. We had pulled up out there in Forest Park to help people when they had nowhere to go. Now we're back. We even had our senior day out there with the 513 relief bus. So we back at the Word of Deliverance in Forest Park on the 16th. On the 17th, not this Tuesday, next Tuesday, we're at Winton Hills Recreation Center. People say, well, you ain't going to Winton Terrace. We in Winton Terrace. Food for the Soul, 2 to 6 p.m. Food for the Soul, I want to thank them. They've been partnering with us at our different locations and helping to provide food. Food for the Soul, we're there with them from 2 to 6 p.m. We're in Winton Terrace. So supposed to Reece, where's y'all going to Winton? We there. Y'all call Winton Terrace. We going to be there. On that Tuesday, 2 to 6, the 513 relief bus. I'm hoping I can. Now remember, I'm in the middle of a budget. So I'm running back and forth. If I can't be there, the 513 relief bus will be there, and so will the food. Wednesday, Pastor Donald Jones, we're on our way back to New Hope Baptist. We're in Avondale at New Hope Baptist, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And we're partnering with all these places that have pantries. We're partnering with their pantry. And we're providing funds so we can get more food. We're there from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at New Hope Baptist in Avondale. Okay, they got some things they're going to have in addition. So now that gives us being able to help more people. Then from 4 to 7, we're back at Agape Love Ministries for the crowd that's getting off work 4 to 7. Thank Pastor for having us. Then on Thursday, we're at Grace AME Church. Grace AME Church, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Mount Healthy. We're coming. Pastor, thank you. Mount Healthy. He was at the press conference. We're partnering with his pantry. He's got some things and we'll be adding so we can get help to more people. And then Friday the 21st, we are at Bethel Baptist. We're back, not just with the press conference. We're coming back with the 513 Relief Bus Mobile Pantry in partnership with Bethel Baptist Pantry in Walnut Hills, a food desert. And we're working on Saturday. Corinthians is going to do a big deal on Saturday. They've got baskets and everything the 22nd, and we're looking to partner with them so we can get more to you. More to you. And then I want to give a shout out to the Prince Hall Masons and Shriners who do it every year. 850 baskets they'll be giving out that weekend. I've always purchased some baskets that I sponsor to them for families. And we'll be doing that. And that's at New Prospect Baptist Church, that distribution. So everybody's doing what they can. And I appreciate it. And I just thank God because we went from an announcement to some action. And we're going to do what we can. But in the meantime, what can you do? You need to sign this petition. Let them know in Washington, we sent our money to Washington and we want our money back. It's not a handout. You taking taxes out of our checks and everything, and we ain't getting nothing back. We want our money back. And I want to remind you that the people who are on SNAP don't believe the narratives. They'll give you one instance of something and they'll blow it up and you get all mad and everything. No, these are veterans that served our country. These are senior citizens who have paid their dues and should be able to retire comfortably. These are babies that come in this world and they don't have a choice of their economic status. We're talking baby formula. The baby got to have something to eat. Talking about children who are supposed to have 3 meals a day. We're talking about families, working families. We're talking about people work every day, 2 and 3 jobs. Can't make the ends meet. And last but not least, we're talking about America, one of the richest countries in the world. I want to say that again. We're talking about America, one of the richest countries in the world. In the world. And we walking around here acting like a third world country. It's shameful. It's ridiculous. It's unacceptable. It should be all hands on deck, not some hands. All hands on deck. And those who have done it, I've run into people who are volunteering now at food banks and donating to food banks. And of course, churches, you've always been there. Always. Many churches have always been doing this. But you stepping up even more. Thank you. Those companies that are out there, those who can afford the ballroom. Most of those companies are consumer-based companies. We want to see the money going back to help the people. Don't tell me you ain't got no money. You'll do it through your foundation and get a tax break from it. We want the money quick, like you do when you decided to build and contribute to a ballroom and other things. We know that you have the money because the haves is getting richer and the have group is getting smaller and the have-nots is getting larger because they're trying to break our spirit, trying to make us give up. And I'm telling you, it can't be easy to give up. He said, man, God, what is going on? Working 2 and 3 jobs, I can't make the ends meet, and gas and electric getting ready to get cut off, and water getting cut off, and getting ready to get put out, and can't pay my mortgage and getting ready to take my house. I'm telling you what I'm trying to tell myself. We got to keep the faith. A week ago, I had no money for a pantry. I didn't know how we was going to get anything toward it. A week ago, I said, Governor, you need to sign an executive order. He said, oh, Alicia, he'll never do it. He can't do it. Why are you asking for that? God sent a sign when he did it on Thursday. It wasn't what we wanted. No, I didn't all the money. I think it was God just saying, hey, keep fighting. So a week later, we got the 513 Relief Bus Mobile Pantry. We'll see you at Lincoln Heights. We'll see you at New Hope. We'll see you at Whitewater Crossings. We'll see you at the E-Tech Lighthouse Ministries. We'll see you at the Word of Deliverance. We'll see you at the Wind Hills Recreation Center. We'll see you at Grace AME Church. We'll see you at Bethel Baptist. We'll see you at Corinthian. We'll see you at New Prospect. We'll see you at the grocery store. We're going all the way. Get on there, sign the petition, stand up for yourself. If you don't stand up for nobody else, stand up for yourself. All right, y'all. Till next time, we're bringing hot sauce. I'm going to keep the hot sauce. I was getting ready to put the hot sauce away. I said, keep this hot sauce going. Keep the oil in one hand and keep the hot sauce in the other hand. Don't give up. And I'm not going to give up. All right, y'all. Till next time. Peace.